I recently reviewed a rapid deployment softbox made by SMDV called their SpeedBox Flip. It comes in a variety of sizes, and it has been the premier softbox I'm using to film my videos now, and also the one I'm using on location because I can set this softbox up in a very short period of time. Now, after looking more at their softbox, I also found out that they made a pro version of the SpeedBox Flip. So let's find out what is included or what is the addition in the pro version compared to the regular one. This is ArtIsRight. Before we start, subscribe if you're new and hit on the bell icon so you'll be notified every time I upload cool new videos like this. If you haven't seen my SMDV SpeedBox Flip review, I'll leave a link to it up here and in the description below. I highly recommend that you check that out because that video is going to talk a little bit more in detail about the regular version of the softbox, and it will also have close-up shot to show you how things are set up on that softbox as well. For this video, we're going to focus on the pro version of the SpeedBox Flip. So this one, unlike the other video, SMDV or Spring Distribution here in the US have sent me this out for review. So all the opinions you're about to hear are my own. The other SMDV softbox I'm deploying in my studio are all the one that I purchased, but I feel that this is a good one for us to take a look at because it does add one big functionality to it. As always, it comes in a really nice case, as you see right now, Velcroed. And this has just literally been open right now. So we're gonna pull this open. And for the most part, this SMDV Flip is very similar to the other one. The materials on the side is just a little bit different than the SpeedBox Flip, the non-pro version. So let's pull that out too. This one is just a little bit smoother nylon. This one has a little bit more texture to it. So you can see from the side right away that it is different. And pretty much the same thing that we have before is that you have this changing adapter lock at the bottom. So if you open this up, like so, you can just put different adapters in. They sent me a Bowen mount, which is the one that I've used all the time. However, if you use ProPhoto, Elechrome, or anything else, you can definitely request that, and it is an option for you to choose when you order these softbox. The same thing that we have done before, once you have the mount on, you literally would just come in, grab this, pull it open a little bit like so, and just mount it together. And now I have an Octabox. This is really cool. This is really fast and awesome. You can see that on the inside of this is silver. There's Velcro around it, and this is the primary difference between the Pro and the regular version. The Pro version, you can remove the right diffusion that is in the very front and also the one that's on the inside, whereas the regular version, which I'm going to show you in just a moment, you can't do that. So what I'm going to do now is let's just mount this on the speed bracket that I would use with my 8200 Godox. So we'll lock that in for now. So this is their regular version that I reviewed in the previous video. The mechanism and everything else, it's pretty much the same. To deploy, I would just expand the side a little bit out, like so. Just do that. And what I would simply do is grab that, flip this together, apply a little bit of pressure, and boom, just like that, I have locked this in. So this one is the non-pro version, and the white diffusion is pretty much sewn into this. You can't remove it. On the inside, there is another white diffusion layer, and pretty much the softbox itself is a silver reflective on the inside. I can see there. So it is good, but this one you can definitely see the silver reflection and everything is very similar in the way how it's constructed and built. Now the other thing about this softbox is that it will come with a diffusion. So this is the difference in the Pro version. So for this softbox, there are some assembly that you have to do, but once you put them together, you can just leave everything on and collapse it. You don't have to take it off every time. But essentially, this is the internal diffusion portion inside the softbox, and it comes with a little metal clip at the end with elastic. So we're going to slowly put this in all the way around. Now, it really all depends on what you're doing and the type of photo shoot that you do. Sometimes you may not need to have all these things removable. And if you're not going to do that, for me, for instance, I would use this most of the time on location where I need to deploy things quickly. I'm not going to have the time to really come and put this together or take it apart, and I'm not going to really have a need for that. And if you fall into my category, then I would say getting the regular version would be better. However, if you want to be able to modify this in the future, use this in a creative setting inside the studio, for instance, this may be the way to go because it does offer flexibility. For instance, if I want to, I can just assemble this together right now and simply just use it like this, or use it without this diffusion, for instance. And it does offer me a little bit more room and a little bit more flexibility. The front part itself, well, it's just going to be Velcro on one side. So this is pretty much Velcro, and this just pretty much Velcro on. This is very similar to other softbox I've used in the past, where you just Velcro this on, just kind of like so. So the setup for this SMDV Flip Pro, it's fairly easy. Now for me on location, using this for a while, I would say that for the most part, 36-inch is a really great size to deploy on location. It's not too big, and it does offer a lot of flexibility, especially if you're in a smaller space or anything like that. 44-inch tends to be a little bit too big, and I tried to use that in a few shoots recently, so it doesn't work out quite well. But ultimately, this would really come down to what you're needing and what you're looking for. So this is pretty much set up already, very similar to the other one, as you can kind of see once it's really up and running. The back part of it itself, and as I already mentioned, if I wanted to take this apart, so let's do that. Let's unlock this from the speed ring, and what I can simply do is just push on that latch, and now everything is collapsed. So technically I can have this kind of collapse like so, and have the option to remove the front diffusion layer. So if you're looking for a little bit more flexibility than the SpeedBox Flip, I will look at the Pro version, because you can remove the diffusion layer. But if you don't need that, it's perfectly okay. One more thing I want to mention is that on all the Softbox, both the regular version and the Pro version, there is a Velcro. And this Velcro on the outside, when you have this all open up like so, you can get a grid kit that will go on top of it. For example, I have one right now that is designed for the 44-inch because I didn't get one for this version. But essentially, you can always put on a grid, and the grid just Velcros around on the outside, and it kind of covers this front of the softbox. So if you need a grid, this will also support that as well. I hope that you find this review for the SMDV SpeedBox Flip Pro helpful. As I mentioned, this is the 36-inch model. They also make a 44-inch model, and the way how it functions, the accessory that comes with it, which is the 2 diffusion layer, are pretty much exactly the same. It's just that the size is a little bit larger. I will leave a link to their website in the description below should you want to check out, find out more about them, and also purchase the Softbox. If you have any questions about them or any comments, leave them in the comments section below. Give this a like, subscribe, and hit on the bell if you're new, and in art we trust.